Welcome to the Business Bada Revolution. I'm your host, Pat Honiotes. We're here to talk about doing business from the inside out because being an entrepreneur shouldn't suck. Remember, business badasses are made, not born. Welcome to the show. All right, we're starting this show with the giggles, I guess. We've been having some fun over here. This is Pat Honiotes, Business Bada Revolution. This has been an interesting journey, trying to get entrepreneurs to talk about money. In fact, I'll be flat out honest with you. I've actually 86 two shows because they just the energy wasn't there to get the message across. So what I did was I roped my friend, colleague, and my bookkeeper accountant into coming in and talking about money because that's her job. So Cynthia Windrow from Cynthia's Consulting, and I will tell you she has saved my butt from being in jail more than once. So thank you very much for that. Welcome, Cynthia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So we're going to talk about money.
Okay.
Howsoever, what you said to me was, and I'm looking at my notes today because she said so many good things, I want to quote them. Nobody wants to talk about money. Expand on that a little bit, will you, especially for entrepreneurs?
Well, a lot of times they don't have any. So, no, they don't want to talk about it. That's an uncomfortable situation for them because sometimes they may not have it. They don't want to admit that they're having to work 2 side jobs to keep the business going. But what they don't understand is that's okay. You got to do what you got to do to make it. And if you're honest with yourself, then it'll come.
The thing that I heard that just really stood out to me is if you're honest with yourself. Mm-hmm. And I don't know about you, but I think that's probably the one area where we have the most dishonesty. Not intentionally. It's more like, no. Okay. All right. So what scares people about money, do you think, Cynthia?
The lack of it and not knowing how to get it.
Okay. All right. So I know how I deal with it, but I want to hear more from you first. I'm coming at it from a little bit different point of view. What are some of the problems, the concerns that people come to you as their bookkeeper, accountant, assistant about money that you have to solve for them, or at least try to solve for them?
I was like, I can't help everybody. But most of the time, it's, where's my money going? How do I get it back? What am I doing wrong? I've invested this, that, and the other. Nothing is working. Okay, so you need to sit back and take a look at that. What are you paying for? Why are you paying for it?
Ooh.
You know, people go into all the networking events, and there's nothing wrong with networking. I network. Excuse me. But the ones that are $150, if you don't have $150, then you need to sit that one out.
Right.
Well, that's where everybody's going to be. But you're not ready for that. Sit that one out. Or you want to buy lunch for everybody. Why? I'm not saying don't, but you ain't got it like that. You done bought lunch for 100 people, and now you asking your friend to help you pay your rent next month.
Oh, Lord.
Let's make it make sense. And a lot of times everybody's trying to be this and be that because of what they do, and it's not that serious. Start small.
So, do you talk to them like that?
Yes.
Good. No, good, because I know a lot of people sugarcoat it, and that doesn't get them anywhere. Mm-mm. Okay, and usually by the time they come to me, they've tried everything and it's not working. Mm-hmm. They've even talked to you and it's not working. Mm-hmm. Well, the reason it's not working is because they're not listening to you. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then it comes down to a lot of what I do is that business from the inside out. There's a reason why they're not listening to you. Right. And I know that's not your problem, but it's there. No, it's not. It's not what you do. And so we'll talk more about those reasons in a little bit, but I'm going to get some more for you. So what is money to you then? Why, what's the big deal about money?
Money is a tool.
Okay.
It's not the end game. You use money to get the things that you need so you can have the freedom that you want. Period.
Money is a tool. That's a quote. We're going to have to use that. How do your clients respond when you say that to them?
Most of them have never thought about it that way.
I can honestly say I haven't either.
And I only know that because I've read about it. So, I mean, it's not like I was like, oh my God, no, I read about it. It is what it is. But they just don't. It's like, oh my gosh, I got to have money. I got to have money. Yes, you do. You do need it to pay your bills. You do need it to take care of your family. But use it as a tool, not as your
calling card almost.
Yes.
One of the things that I teach my people is your net worth does not equal your self-worth, or at least it shouldn't.
True.
And I think a lot of people, at least a lot of people that I've worked with, do think that if they're worth more, if they've got more money in the bank. Well, they are with money, but not necessarily all the way around.
Right.
So then when they get down on themselves with low self-worth, I can almost guarantee you the old bank account's going to go down too. Do you ever do any investigating with your clients to see what's going on?
I do with their monthly reports. If they're my client, I'll sit down and be like, hey, you spent too much on advertising this week or this month, or you spent too much on coffee this month. Let's bring it back. Like, because if you've got bills you got to pay, say Crazy Boy over here, he has to pay for the studio. So he can't go out and spend $500 a month on shoes because I'm not going to help you pay your studio rent.
Here's the thing. You're so logical, and I love that. That's why we get along so well, because I can go off into woo-woo land pretty easily. But it's just logic. And it's like you have no attachment to it. And I think that's the gift that you bring to entrepreneurs, is that you have no attachment to it. And most people are really emotionally involved with it. I can tell you that by the time people get to me with entrepreneurs, small business owners, with money stuff, it's always about them.
Yes.
It's always about a mindset that they have or what they've been taught as kids or whatever. It's, how many times, what are some of the things you heard growing up? I heard money doesn't grow on trees. As a little kid, I actually went out and looked at the trees to see if I could find any. Yeah, well, What else? Can you think of any things that you hear? You can just see me out there looking in the trees, which is why you're giggling.
Yes.
Okay, yes. I got it. Do you anything like that for you?
Of course. I'm not made out of money.
Yes.
Or I don't poop money, whatever.
Oh, I never heard that one. I'm going to use that one. All right. I need some new lines here. Or we can't afford that.
Right.
I've heard that one a lot from clients. Here's the thing, the whole idea is, and you know how the subconscious mind works. We've worked together enough for that. When you start hearing that all the time when you're growing up, guess what goes in your head? We can't afford it. I'm not made of money. I don't poop money, whatever that is. And it's like that subliminal programming that they used to do in the grocery stores and the pharmacies, right?
You can't say anything funny when I'm drinking. Stop that.
Oh, I didn't know that was funny, but okay.
Not trying to wear my coffee today.
Oh, come on, Cynthia, wear your coffee. Here's the thing. You can't do how do I want to say this? When you have people running, how long do they, I've got 5 questions all at once. Can you tell? How can you tell when they've hit a brick wall and you just go, I give up? How can you tell when it's time to say, all right, go talk to Pat? What are some symptoms or what are some behaviors that you see that you're going, you know what, they're not going to do what I tell them to do until they get this figured out?
When they say the word I can't a lot.
Okay. Give me an example.
So if I'm showing you have $500 in the bank, but you've got $200 phone bill coming out, and you've got $100 for something else you subscribe to for marketing coming out. No, we're not going to go get the $300, whatever this is, for the studio. It's not in the budget right now. And they're like, well, I just can't do this and I just can't do that. Well, you know what? You can't. So there's no reason for us to keep talking about this.
Instead of, some people just try to keep convincing him, and it's like beating your head.
I don't have the time or the energy.
So, do you ever pick up on some of the subconscious stuff or things that people say or do that tells you this is not conscious intellectual stuff going on?
A lot of it is in your mind, period.
Yeah.
Period.
So say some more about that. Like what?
I don't know who said it, but if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't.
Ford said
So
that. What's his name? Henry Ford?
I don't know. I just said I don't know his name.
No, I'm just trying to. Okay, I think it's Henry Ford.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
If you think you can or if you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
Shush.
Okay. But that goes along with everything then. That also goes along back to the beliefs you have about yourself, to the things that you've picked up. Do you ever fire anyone?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I've never done it before, but I'm in the process of like, yeah, this is not going to go well.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you have to do everything I tell you to do because I don't know everything. I do read a lot. Excuse me. But if you keep coming to me with the same thing and I'm telling you X, Y, and Z is not working, do A, B, C, but you keep doing X, Y, Z and finding out that it's not working, I can't help you.
So other than I can't, what are other excuses that you hear? I'm sure you've got a list as long as your arm, huh? Oh, it's the economy, Cynthia.
Yeah. Or so-and-so was supposed to help me and they're not helping me. Or I don't have any support.
Oh, victim shit. I mean, stuff. No, it's victim shit. Okay. Okay. You weren't drinking coffee that time.
Thank God. Or I didn't have anybody to leave me anything to start my business. I'm having to start from scratch. Oh, well, start. If that's what you want to do. If it's not what you want to do, if that's not your dream, if that's not your goal, then let it go. But either you want it and you're going to do what it takes to make it happen, or you don't want it, let it go.
See, this is what I love your honesty. Here's the thing. I've run into so many people in your industry, but also traditional business coaches that won't admit that that's not what they do, or they will admit that they do. Because I'll say to them, what do you do when you get in this? I don't care. I don't care if they have the money. I don't. Either they do it or they don't.
But you have to care. Because if I'm supposed to be your person that has your back, that's getting you through whatever this is, I have to care. Because if I don't, then there's nothing here. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you make it. So if you only got $5 in the bank, I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm going to need you to do something different. Go get a side hustle if you want this to work. If you don't want this to work, keep your $5. But if you do want this to work, we got to find something to do on the side to make this more than $5.
Okay, so you do go beyond just books and bookkeeping. You actually spend some time with that then. Okay. What are some other excuses you hear?
I don't have the time.
I love that one because it's even in working on any aspect of your business. I'll get that. Well, I don't have time to work on my business. Okay, so now what?
Make the time.
And again, it's all here. And here's the thing. I can say that 100 times that it's you, it's in your mind, it's your mindset, right? But a lot of it is also subconscious. And if it's subconscious, you don't know what it is. All right. True. So the key then is to find out what the subconscious thought is, or find out what the subconscious label is. Mm-hmm. Okay. I had one guy who was trying to prove to his dad that he wasn't a loser, because his dad had called him a loser from the time he was a teenager. And he was working so hard not to be a loser, he wasn't making any money. And it kind of comes into what you were saying. He was saying yes to everything but clients. To be in the public eye so people would think he was successful. We run into that. Okay. What would you say most people need to do differently in their business when it comes to finances?
Understand how they work for you.
That surprises me that you said that. And here's the reason why. I thought you would say to look at your finances. Most of the people, by the time they get to me, they don't even want to see it. They don't want to look at it. Well, that's the way you walked into this. They don't want to look at them.
But you have to.
I'm clear. I'm clear.
You don't know what you're working with.
I'm clear. And then, so look at them, understand them. And then
make the necessary adjustments.
What I'm doing is putting that together with some of the things that I look at, which is, it's not just, it's first of all looking at them, understanding them as a, but making the necessary adjustments. They may not even know what that is. And that's where you come in.
So I'm trying to think of an example, a good one.
Okay.
Let's see. Prime example. You have your business, but now you want to move into a building to have your own office, because everybody has their own office.
Oh, okay.
You're not ready for your own office. You're doing good to make this work. Let's make that a goal to reach in, say, 6 months to a year. And so then we start putting money aside for this, because then you got to have the money to rent the building or build the building. You got to have money for the lights. You got to have money for the water. You got to have money to get all that stuff started. And you got to have furniture. All of that takes time. So instead of just saying, oh, I'm just going to go and rent this building with my home desk and my home here, and we'll go from there. So now you're paying electricity for your house and this building, water for your house and this building, and you don't have that. Stop trying.
Do you ever irritate people?
All my life.
Because I'm thinking they may not want to look at their, but they don't want to hear you saying that to them. They want it, and they want it now. And it's got to be irritating to some part of them. And so then I would come in and say, business from the inside out, right? What part of you doesn't want the information? What part of you doesn't want to hear how to take those next steps?
None of them do, because they think they know it all.
Right, but there's a part of them. That's not the adult part of them. You know, you're sitting here and we're talking like adults for the most part, except when we get the giggles, right? It's not that part of us that doesn't. We all have a child part. We all have a teenage part. And so there's points at which you're talking with a teenager. And that's the part that doesn't want to listen, usually. So then that's where I would come in and say, okay, and we go back. Now, we would actually talk with that part of the person and say, okay, what happened when you were 13? Or what happened when you were, and let's see where you got the idea. Okay. We should team up, Cynthia. All right. Do you do budgeting with, how does that go? Do you actually have them fill out a budget? And I have people that hate that. They'd rather chew aluminum foil. What? Then do a budget. I don't know. It's the same thing with affirmations. Okay? And so I give them the affirmations, and then I reached a point to where I said, and I would get on them a bit. And now I just don't say anything. because I was in a place where, hey, I want this for them more than they want it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to that point too, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have time or the energy for that either.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So what's the one thing that you wish you could change for people?
Their mindset on money.
What would you say that you would love that mindset to be? State it in the I sentences.
That's a good question. What would I love for them to get?
Yes.
Put me on the spot, huh?
Oh, you're good on this spot. We got a couple of them here.
Let's see. What would I want them to get? To understand that you have to be a good steward of what you have.
Okay.
And when you become a good steward of little, you become a good steward of much.
Whoa. We're going to take some of these quotes, Cynthia, and do a whole thing on this, right? You already gave us another one, which was money is a tool.
Mm-hmm.
But you also said money's not to be feared. Are there actually people who are afraid of money?
Mm-hmm.
I know some, and I know why. What's your theory on that?
They don't know what to do with it.
Or they're afraid of what they're going to do with it. They either don't know, or either they're afraid. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me see. Give me another one you want them to get.
Let's see.
Something about how to make it work for you. What do you tell them?
I want them to see how this is going to work for them.
Can you give an example of that?
So, like, say, for instance, I always pick on him. I'm going to leave him alone today. So you've started this cleaning business, okay? You've got a cleaning business, and you've got all your supplies, you got everything you need, and it's just you in the beginning, okay? It's just you. You've got 10 good clients. They pay good, you clean their house good, you've got a good rapport. Great. 3 more people want you. You're looking at the money side of it, but you're not looking at how to invest that into 3 more good people like you to bring on the other clients.
And here's what happens on the inside for some people with that is it's better if I do it myself, then I know it's done right. Nobody can do this as well as I can. And you're shaking your head no, right? But that's what's going on in here, and sometimes they may not even know it.
But you're wanting more money, but you're missing out on the more money because you won't take the time to invest in what it's going to take for you to get the more money.
And that's the logical, conscious side of it that makes so much sense, which is why it's got to be irritating when people don't act on it then, because it's so logical. And see, that's the thing, is a lot of our behaviors that are unhealthy have absolutely nothing to do with logic. And then you're trying to run a business logically and make some money. Give me 2 things, the 2 things that we've talked about today that you want folks to take away from this podcast.
Be honest with yourself.
Oh, yes.
You can lie to whoever else you want to, but be honest with yourself. If you can do this podcast, y'all know I don't like this. But guess what? I had to be honest with myself. I talk to people all day, every day. I had to block out the cameras and talk to you. And that's what I've done. So it was, okay, I can do it.
This is because there's a certain place within how do I want to say this? You've whooped some of your demons. Okay? And you've learned how to change that mindset on the spot. Okay? Now say that again.
Say what again?
About what's the one thing you want them to get from what you just gave an example of? Change your mindset.
Oh, I thought I said to be honest with yourself, but okay.
Oh, you did. I lied. You did just say to be honest with yourself. So what you're saying is you had to admit that this was not your thing. These cameras were monsters ready to jump on you, and you had to admit that that's what was going on in your mind. So yeah. So we have to first of all make sure we have to make we have to be willing to admit that we're making shit up. And the thing is we do it all the time. And it's based on old stuff and maybe even other people's experiences. Okay, and then we get ourselves into, what we think is coming true because that's what we're looking for.
Right.
All right. So no, I've got plenty of money. I don't know what you're talking about. And then the bills. Okay. So number 1, be honest with yourself. Give me another one. Number 2.
Be willing to talk to somebody about it.
Say more about that, Cynthia.
Because if you don't, what's the old saying? Closed mouths don't get fed. If you don't ask for help, nobody's going to know to help you. And a lot of people don't care enough to be like, something's wrong with her, let me check on them.
And what do you say about the people that don't like to ask for help? Ask for it anyway. I know that, but I mean, where does that come into your world? I mean, I go back through a whole thing of, in the past, what's happened, what's their belief system about that. Nobody wants to have all that stuff. But from your perspective, what about people that don't want to ask for help? They just can't. There's that word again.
Excuse me. It'll ruin them. It'll ruin them. And I say that from experience.
Okay, it'll ruin them.
Because I was that person that, it's not that I didn't want anybody's help, but you always get those people that, oh, remember when I helped you? Or remember when I did this for you? Ain't nobody got time for all of that.
Yeah. I can tell you what one of mine was. Well, I wouldn't ask for help. I would not hire a bookkeeper. I would not hire a front office. I did it all. Do you know why?
Why?
When I finally figured, I had some help figuring out, was because I didn't want people to know I was stupid. Yeah, it's not logical, right? But when we dove into it, okay, that's what it boiled down to. When I tracked it down from the time I was 3 years old, my father called me a goddamn dummy. So when you start that early, do you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to ask for help because it would make me look stupid. The other thing is I would imagine I was quite the bitch to work for initially, and that was because God help you if something left my office with a mistake on it, because it made me look stupid. Now that sounds totally silly to you because it's not logical, but it's real.
No, I get it.
I know you do. I know you do.
I get it.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about money?
Don't let it put you in bondage.
Ooh, say more about that.
A lot of times people don't live their lives or don't do anything because of money. I don't have this. I don't have that. Do what it takes to get it so you can do what you want. Don't let that be your limitation.
Got it. All right. Anything else for you? Did you get it all out? Cameras and all now, right? I know. So, Cynthia, tell us where we can get a hold of you for your services. Again, I can't say enough about you. You saved my butt more than once, and everything is done. It's done on time, and it's done correctly. Here's the other thing, and I'm going to brag on you for a couple minutes, and you can sit there and blush all you want. But here's the thing is I get more than my bookkeeping and my taxes done. I can't tell you how many times I've picked up the phone and you were there. I got you. I didn't get a runaround, or I don't do that. But questions about the state, you were there. I got you.
Thank you.
And so why do you do that? That's not really part of your business quote. What is it about you that has you be there?
Because isn't that what you're supposed to do? I'm just asking. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. You have a business and you're doing things for people that have questions. You should be able to answer them and take care of them, right?
Hey, I'm not arguing with you.
Oh, okay.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying I will tell the folks that I fired 2 accounting firms prior to getting you. Full firms that had me screwed up when I got here. So maybe it's supposed to be that way, but it ain't always. So now, tell us, how can we get a hold of you if we want to have you be on our team? Or if we have some questions, would that be all right?
That'll be fine.
Okay, so how can we get a hold of you, my friend?
Well, let's see. You can call or text me at 629-201-1817. Yes, I had to think about it. Or you can email me at cwindrow, W-I-N-D as in Delta, R-O-W, at cynthiasconsulting.com.
Okay, that's the way we do it then. So this was so calm. And here's what I'm loving about that is you people get really fired up and you can't get down to the meat of it. So thank you so much for being here.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So folks, questions about money, we're going to be having another mailbag session in another few weeks. And that's where we ask you just to send in questions and about business from the inside out, and we're happy to answer them. If you have questions as a result of today, send the questions in, and if I don't know the answers, I will get Cynthia to answer them for us. Now, we're not going to answer tax questions or that kind of thing, more the philosophy behind it. But anyway, another episode of Business Badass Revolution is over. I will see you all next week. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to another episode of Business Badass Revolution. Remember, as you're walking through your work week, being an entrepreneur shouldn't suck. Remember to like, share, follow, and subscribe. And oh, by the way, leave us a 5-star review. See you next time.